WXII 12 News at 10 on the Triad CW starts now.
A massive shootout in a neighborhood in New Jersey. A police officer among 6 killed in a furious hours-long gun battle. Where things stand tonight in Jersey City, next at 10.
And right now the search is on for this man missing out of Asheboro. Silver alert's out for 67-year-old Jimmy Reed Davis. He was last seen walking away from the Randolph County Jail after signing himself out.
It doesn't take much. It can happen in the blink of an eye.
And the holidays may not be such a happy time for everybody. Tonight, help for those battling the demons of addiction this time of year. Starting off tonight with the weather, the rain not going anywhere anytime soon, and the region is preparing for another taste of bitterly cold winter weather.
Yeah, and in fact, several schools have already issued 2-hour delays for tomorrow morning, including Allegheny County and in Virginia, Carroll, Grayson, and Patrick counties. Let's check in now with Chief Meteorologist Lainey Pope. Lainey, how bad are things going to get?
Well, I think they're taking a precaution should there be any ice or snow out there tomorrow morning. You can see the temperatures definitely dropping as we are just above freezing right now in Galax. Warmth to the east. We've got a front that's moving through the area. Behind it, some cold northwest winds that are taking the temperatures down. We're in the mid to upper 40s right now with rain continuing across the Triad. Heavier rain around Burlington, Yanceyville, also south toward Asheboro. This is all edging slowly to the east, and then on the backside, a transition from rain to snow, and there's already some snow falling in parts of Grayson County near the community of Elk Creek. You've got snow, a little wintry mix of precipitation falling in Galax right now. We look for a little bit more of that as that cold air pushes in. As a result, there's a winter weather advisory out for Carroll County, Grayson County, as well as Ashe, Watauga, and Allegheny counties, and that is for a little snow overnight and even a light glaze of ice on elevated surfaces. Temperatures will be in the upper 20s in the morning, should stay above freezing in the foothills and Triad.
Lenny, thank you. And you can stay on top of the latest weather conditions anytime on the free WXII 12 News mobile app. You can check rain chances throughout the week, along with the hour-by-hour forecast to see how the weekend is shaping up and get a better idea if any of this rain is going to turn into something more sinister. Up in the Northeast, a neighborhood battle in New Jersey becomes a gun zone. 6 people killed after an hours-long fight that started at a grocery store. Yeah, the 2 people police think are responsible for this are among the dead. Reed Binion has the latest.
A chaotic scene unfolding in Jersey City Tuesday following reports of an active shooter standoff inside a local bodega. Heavily armed officers blocked off streets. Schools were placed on lockdown.
Well, my daughter actually told me that there was a shooting in the area. So they actually, yeah, she said it was an active shooter scenario. They actually do drills for it.
What led up to the standoff is still being investigated, but according to police, the situation began with the murder of a police officer about 40 miles south at a cemetery and included a stolen vehicle.
One stolen U-Haul vehicle that may contain an incendiary device that has since been taken from the location and is being examined by our bomb squad members.
The standoff at the bodega reportedly started around noon.
Our officers were under fire for hours.
I heard over 200 gunshots.
3 other officers were wounded in the gunfire but are expected to survive. 5 people were found dead inside the bodega. Police believe 2 suspects were among those that died.
There are days that require us to stop and think about what it means to put on a uniform every day. And God knows this is one of those days.
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Right now, a Guilford County Sheriff's deputy is recovering from being shot early this morning while serving a warrant. It happened at a house on Moody Street in Greensboro, not too far from where Helpton Elementary School used to be. You can see those bullet holes right in the front door. One of the bullets hit the deputy in the hand. That deputy is going to have surgery. Sheriff Danny Rogers says the suspects shot 4 rounds in all and explained to our Bill O'Neill why deputies didn't fire back.
It was shot once. It was shot once in his hand. The suspect shot at the deputies about four rounds, and we did not shoot back.
Can you explain that? Why not?
The situation at the time, even though the young man shot at us, we wanted to make sure that our deputies wasn't caught up in no crossfire. So that's the main thing. Okay, but it came out. He surrendered.
Sheriff Rogers says the man is Ivory Tisdale. He's facing numerous drug charges right now and 8 counts of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill. Tisdale's bond's been set at $1.1 million. The sheriff's office has not released the name of the injured deputy. And this marks the 3rd shooting involving Guilford County deputies this year. Back on October 14th, 2 deputies were shot after a suspect barricaded himself inside of a home on Braddock Road. They were trying to serve an eviction notice. That suspect was killed. And just hours later, a Guilford County deputy killed a man in Jamestown. Deputies went to check on Dennis Patrick Jr. at his house when he opened fire. Deputies fired back and killed him.
The Randolph County Sheriff's Office says drugs may have played a role in an attack last week that nearly killed a woman. The sheriff says it all started with a welfare check in Denton back on December 2nd. Deputies said they found a woman nearly beaten to death. The sheriff says the victim's wallet, keys, and car were all missing. The next day, the 2 suspects led High Point police, they say, on a high-speed chase. Zachary Stewart and Brittany Jones Autry were arrested the next day, charged with attempted murder, among other crimes. More charges are still possible. The sheriff, Greg Seabolt, says that victim is still hospitalized.
I think she would have ultimately died as a result of her injuries. She had laid there for a day and a half, 2 days, and I'm just glad her daughter called, and we went and met her and did a welfare check.
New tonight, police in Winston-Salem say speed played a role in a late-night crash. An SUV went off the road on South MLK Drive at about 11:15 last night, flipped several times, then went down an embankment and landed under the Salem Creek Bridge. Police say that driver, identified as Franklin Herring, is in serious but stable condition in the hospital. Herring was the only person in that SUV at the time.
The Navy says flight training has been suspended for more than 300 Saudi Arabian students at 3 bases in Florida until further notice. This is in the wake of Friday's deadly shooting by a Saudi Air Force officer in Pensacola. 3 military members were killed and 8 were hurt. Officials say this move is an effort to make sure that students are safe as they recover from the trauma of that shooting. The Pentagon's also ordering a broad review of vetting procedures for international students who participate in training on military installations. In a memo, the Deputy Defense Secretary says screening has to be strengthened. The 3 sailors killed in that attack have been posthumously awarded Golden Wings. The Navy's acting secretary says the 3, quote, represent the highest virtues of naval aviation and undoubtedly belong in that great fraternity of selfless service to our Navy, our department, and our nation. He proclaimed Ensign Joshua Watson as a Navy aviator and Airman Mohammed Hatham as an airman apprentice, Cameron Walters as a naval air crewman.
The search is on tonight for whoever took a donation jar in High Point. This happened over the weekend. Spiro's Family Restaurant says this woman, who police have identified as Karen Baird, took the jar. It had about $250 inside of it and was meant to go to a canine police medical fund. Coming up in our next half hour, the manager's message to the thief. Well, the holiday season is typically a happy one. People get to enjoy, relax with their family and their friends. But for people battling addiction, it can serve as a very real catalyst for a relapse. Brandon Bates has the story.
Well, the need for drug and alcohol rehab here in the Triad is imperative. Here at Inside Human Services, they have 300 to 350 people walking through this door on any given day. Holidays bring joy and cheer to many, but for some, it's just a matter of time before their bad habits come creeping back without warning.
The holiday season can be a great time, but it can be a very stressful time.
Jim Harner is the CEO of the rehab center Inside Human Services. He says it doesn't take much to relapse, and the holiday season presents several challenges for recovering addicts.
They may be around other people that are using, so they may be not wanting to use, but if they're at a family get-together or with friends and there's alcohol being served or something else is going on, then that can trigger them to want to use.
Garner says numbers are usually up around the holidays, and it's not hard to run into speed bumps this time of year for those recovering.
It doesn't take much. It can happen in the blink of an eye.
Harner says if you have a family member in recovery, don't have events with alcohol. And if you do, make sure you have plenty of finger foods on hand and don't encourage each other to drink.
A lot of people are struggling with alcohol misuse. Also, they're struggling with opioid misuse. It could be heroin or prescription medicine.
He says to be mindful and take the situation seriously.
That's probably the best thing we can do, is to be kind to people and realize that whenever we see someone, we never know what they've been through. They can look fine on the outside. They can look in the best of, they've got the world going, everything going for them. But where they've been and what they're dealing with today, we don't know, because we all kind of can put up a mask.
Now, if you or somebody that you know is struggling with addiction, there's a full list of resources on our website, WXII12.com. Reporting in Winston-Salem, Brandon Bates, WXII 12 News.
Charging the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, with committing high crimes and misdemeanors.
In a historic move, House Democrats announced 2 articles of impeachment against President Trump today: abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Both charges have to do with the withholding of military aid to Ukraine. The House Judiciary Committee is expected to vote on the articles on Thursday, setting the stage for a full House vote next week. President Trump calls today's announcement weak and sheer political madness. He continued taking aim at Democrats tonight in Pennsylvania. The president rallied supporters there to his defense at a campaign stop in Hershey and lashed out against the investigation.
The radical left Democrats and the failed Washington establishment are trying to erase your votes, nullify the election, and overthrow our democracy. Not going to happen. Don't worry about it.
And in a day of division, a bipartisan move. House Democrats announced that they're going to support a new trade deal with Canada and Mexico, handing a potential political win to the president and his administration. The president says the USMCA trade agreement signed today is a silver lining to the impeachment process. That deal is going to replace NAFTA.
In Commitment 2019 news, the town of Summerfield officially has a new mayor tonight. That is BJ Barnes on the left, being sworn in just a short time ago, along with several other new town council members. Barnes defeated incumbent Mayor Danny Nelson in last month's municipal election. He told us his outspoken social media use helped him win, and he's looking forward to making Guilford County's 3rd largest city a more desirable place to live, work, and play.
I think Summerfield has a great future ahead of it, and it's a wonderful community. I'm glad to be here. I've been here 36 years. I think it's going to be good.
Barnes says one of the first things he wants to do is pass a unified development ordinance. His wife has also served as mayor of Summerfield in the past.